back. Welcome back to this edition, the fourth edition of Barakatz Video Magazine. Before we took our break, we had asked the question, and again, my name is Abdul Wali Shahid, and I have our distinguished guest, Minister Hamza Al Hafiz, who was sharing some things with us earlier, and we want to go back to that. You had mentioned the Muhammad Speaks newspaper and passing it to some of the officers, those being black, etc. And I know you said this was in the 60s and mid to late 60s. One
Early
of the
60s.
early 60s. So I mean, I know from being a young man, that whole movement with the liberation of black people and the civil rights movement, things like that, Garvey and other things like that. What was the climate like back then in respects to Islam being introduced?
Caution.
Okay.
Caution. You know, Mr. Muhammad said something that stuck with me. He said we were Muslims by nature. So we never joined the Muslims. We registered. There's a difference.
Okay.
No one joined the Nation of Islam. In fact, the Nation of Islam is a misnomer. We were called the Lost and Found Nation of Islam.
That's right. I remember that.
The Nation of Islam consists of every Muslim in the world.
Mm-hmm.
People misinterpret that statement. They think the Nation of Islam was the old under Elijah Muhammad.
Just the group, right.
It's still the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
Muhammad told us, he said, every Muslim, every black man on the earth are brothers. Every black man in America is considered a member of the Nation of Islam, according to teaching of Elijah Muhammad.
Is that similar to? I remember hearing things about the lost tribe of Shabazz, and there were things about that, and I don't know if that ties into that. But in the sense of us being here on the shores of North America from Africa,
it ties into us that we are lost people.
Mm-hmm.
I said not we particularly, because my people come from Jamaica, but black men in America has no idea of his existence other than slavery at that time.
That is obliterated just about. That's correct. That was at Willie Lynch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we're lost people. Look, we had no knowledge of any existence of brotherhood or sister other than Georgia, Mississippi. It was assumed in America that your ancestors came from the South. It was assumed.
Mm-hmm.
Any black man without an accent was assumed he came from the South.
Wow.
White folk will use a Southern drawl talking to you and mocking you. But I came up under Jamaican parents. And I was writing home to Jamaica when I was a boy. So I knew the existence of family outside of Jamaica, outside these shores. I had family in Dominican Republic. My grandmother came from. I had family in Puerto Rico. So I knew other cultures.
Right. And you had a sense of yourself too, it seems, because unlike
Yes.
some of us, you knew, at least what shores your ancestors, had came from.
One of the things that we were taught, that Mr. Muhammad taught, reject the term Negro. So I have already rejected it. But back to the Muslim thing. We labor on a misconception about who was Muslim. Every black man on this earth are Muslim by nature. Muslim is a characteristic. It's not a religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's an adjective.
Submission.
It means one who's submitted to the will of God. Muhammad taught us, every black man under the sun are brothers. When he said black, he meant brown, red, and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
He said the only one that was different was the white man.
Mm-hmm.
They were not Muslims, he taught us. They practiced Islam but not most of it. It's against their nature. That's not far-fetched because we check into the history of these people from Europe. Nowhere in their history had they practiced peace. Nowhere in their history had they went anywhere and found peace and left peace. Nowhere in their history had they went anywhere and made peace. This is not criticism. This is how they are. We respect that.
Do you feel that that now, as we come into this quote unquote new millennium, and knowing that, in a sense, you know, myself reading Quran, where the Quran says that Allah created man from one single soul, things like that. Now, does that conflict with that ayat, or does what is the you know what, let's do this before you answer that. Before you answer that, we're gonna break away for 1 minute, and then we'll be back with that answer. Okay?
Yes.
1 minute. Yes, sir.
The Shahada is merely a declaration. He wrote a letter. It says, "Dear Savior Allah, I believe in the religion of Islam as taught by thy servant Elijah Muhammad. I desire to reclaim my own. I desire a name from thee." That is the registered letter we wrote.
That's when everybody got their X's.
Everybody got their X.
Wow. Now the registration, what kind of numbers were we talking? I mean, were there because I've heard that they were, you know, from say Joseph 1X to Joseph 112X, or you know, I mean, yeah, I heard there were just so many.
They were. I was Leonard 12X.
Okay.
You got an X. If you were the first Leonard, you became Leonard 1X.
Correct.
If you were number 12, Leonard, you became Leonard 12X.
Correct. And what did that do?
But only in that city.
Okay.
So if I move to Boston, I may be Leonard 1X, Leonard X then.
Just starts right over according to how many are registered in that city.
How many
That's where you fit into the slot. Okay. So now, what was the psychology behind that? When we took on the X, what was the psychology with that?
Getting rid of the slave names. We have names that belong to the slave master.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Weir. That's German. It's not Nigerian.
I got you. Okay.
McNeil. That's Irish or Scottish.
Smith.
Smith could be either English or Irish, you know. Or it could be German, depending on how you spell it. So the best way to free yourself is to get rid of the names first.
That's right.
So we got rid of our names. And we had to write our letters saying Leonard 12X, and they write the name Weir in small letters.
That this is the break between that and that. So now, was it like that when it came to, you know, simple things like food and, you know, our habits? What kind of other things did we get rid of that were?
We had no pork. That was the first thing.
Absolutely.
Then we had the moral code. You couldn't talk to a sister unless you intend to marry her. There were no long courtships, no sweethearting.
Mm-hmm.
When you visit a sister, you had to have a chaperone. Her mother would be there, or another married couple would be there.
And that was to kind of keep the purity and.
Sure, because keep us straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, women had to wear their dresses 4 inches below their knees, 4 inches then. They didn't always wear long dresses, but they wore 4 inches below their knees.
Okay.
The uniforms even 4 inches below their knees. In fact, in the 60s, the uniform was just below the knees. Then later on became down to the ankles.
And the brothers and the men?
The men had to wear suits and ties, shirt and tie every day.
What was the significance of that?
You know, if you put on relaxed clothes, you just relax. You sit on the sidewalk with jeans on.
Right. What did that, and what did it seem in your experience and for yourself or other people? What did it seem to do to the psyche
Yeah,
of
gave you a sense of worth, a sense of pride. You put a new suit on a child, he walk different.
hmm mm,
Put a new shoes on a boy, he walk different.
hmm,
Put a suit and tie on,
right? Changes your whole demeanor.
he's
Just
not gonna sit on the stoop.
correct. I got you.
We had to shine our shoes every day. When you came to the temple, they check you. Check your breath. Check your collar, see if it's dirty. Check your shoes, is your shoes will shine. They even had a shoe shine machine in the temple.
Wow.
If your collar was dirty, you step on the side.
Hmm.
You had to have a clean handkerchief. So, you gotta have a
Some
clean
things
handkerchief.
never change. Is that right?
Your pants
Yes,
had to be
sir.
pressed.
Yes, sir.
No one came to the temple with a sweater on or sport clothes. All the brothers came with suit and ties. The children all had, young boys all had suit and ties on in school. You had to have neat haircuts. If your hair was running down your neck, put you on the side.
Wow.
Sisters wasn't allowed to wear no heels. Wear no short heels that tall. No back outs. No toes out. High on the moral law. You could not go to a brother's house if he wasn't home.
That's right.
If he was an uncle, you don't go in.
Wow. It's
Only-
changed a lot, man.
If you was a father-in-law, couldn't go in. Only woman allowed in that house is the girl's father, not the boy's father, the girl's father. The wife's father allowed if you're not home. We have what we call a restrictive law. And it kept us straight.